Great. Okay, Boker Tov, everybody. It's actually Shalom Tovim. It is Thursday, February 9th, 2023. Yud Chet Chai Shvat, the 18th of Shvat. Atavshin Pei Gimel. And I'm Riva Muna. We're recording from Tzfat. And it is Parshat Yitro. So, Bezrat Hashem, I lost the page. Bezrat Hashem, we're going to learn an incredibly beautiful piece from the Sloanamer Rebbe, the Netivot Shalom. So let's just take a moment to just land and connect and open and allow, right? If you're watching live now or you're listening, then you're investing your presence and your energy and your life force in listening to this. So may there be a connection and Hashem's Shefa, the source, the creator's loving kindness and compassion and healing and restoration and presence be revealed to all and every one of us who is open and needs it and wants it. Wow, so cool. I looked up and there's more beautiful people. Oh, hi. Okay, so let's take a moment, please, for the intention of the Ilui Nishmat. So sorry, I do not know his name. I believe his name was Mordechai, but Yochi Gadzi's Abba, Mindy, Malka Mindy's late husband was his last night was his yortzeit, so I believe it's still his yortzeit right now. And Refuah Shalema, I'm not sure if she wants her name on the recording. There's someone who needs a Refuah Shalema for her eyes. Bezrat Hashem, Refuat HaNefesh, Refuat HaGuf, and Chana Bat Miriam and her husband, Refuah Shalema. And all of us, may we all be included in the revelation of Hashem's goodness and kindness and love and compassion, also between us. Okay, so we're in a piece, Parshat Yitro, and we're in a piece called V'hayu ro'in et kevodo v'shom'im et kolo. So I don't know who was on Zoom on Tuesday. I know there were a few people. This is the same piece, so I apologize if you were on Zoom, but it didn't get recorded, and it's such a I think in a moment you'll see it's such a deep and such an important and beautiful piece, and I think we could learn it again and again and still receive new light and new healing from it. Okay, so here we go. V'hayu ro'in et kevodo v'shom'im et kolo. So of course, right, in this week, here we are. And again, a very powerful tool. It actually comes from psychodrama, and it's extremely powerful. Is when we're reading Parshat Shavua, to read it in the present tense, because that is in fact where we're living right now, right? We're living in the breath and what's being offered right now. So v'hayu, and it is right now, right? Ro'in et kevodo, when we are seeing Hashem's glory, and another way we could say Hashem's glory is Hashem's divine presence. V'shom'in et kolo, and we are hearing, we are listening, we are receiving the voice of source, of the creator, of one. It's a great opening line, isn't it? Okay. Ita b'midrash Shmot Rabbah. So it's brought down in the midrash of Shmot Rabbah. Amal Rabbi Levi. So Rabbi Levi spoke. Shnei dvarim she'alu Yisrael milifnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu. There are two yearnings, two desires within anything that's called Yisrael. It's vibrating at this energy center called Yisrael. And there's two things that energy center gets nourished from. Right? When we have a will or desire, it's because we have a lack and we're needing nourishment in some form. So here is what anything called Yisrael is hungry for. Sheyu'u kvodo, that we actually see, whatever this means, right? See the presence of the divine. That means in ourselves and in each other, and in our relationships, the spaces between us, in our stories. Ve yishme'u kolo, and hear the voice of the beloved, the voice of the creator, the voice of the one. Somehow these two things is for us the point, the purpose, the point of connection, what we're yearning for, hungry for, longing for, right? Willing and able to do all the work for, if necessary. It's always necessary, right? Mishama lo yagati v'matzati al ta'amin, right? If someone tells you that there's an easy spiritual path, there are simple spiritual paths, but I haven't yet experienced it as easy, although I am hoping to move more into simplicity. Okay. V'hayu ro'in et kvodo v'shomim et kolo, shene'emar v'tomru hen har'enu Hashem Elokeinu et kvodo ve'et gadlo ve'et kolo shamanu mitoch ha'esh. Right? So it's brought down in Dvarim, Deuteronomy, Hey, or 5. And we're speaking, again, I'm putting it in the present tense. It's not actually written in the present tense. And we're speaking and we're saying, please appear to us, right? Please show us. Please appear to us. Yud Ke Vav Ke, right? Which means the source of all beauty and compassion, right? Elokeinu. Et Kvodo, right? The beauty, the awesomeness and the beauty, the intimacy of your presence. Ve'et gadlo, and your greatness. Ve'et kolo shamanu, and your voice, we, again, putting in the present tense, are hearing from amidst the fire. Ulechora kasher de kasher bikesh Moshe Rabbeinu. So he says, okay, so good. So on the surface, this statement is going to open and raise a lot of questions within us. And here's one of them, right? When Moshe Rabbeinu, alav hashalom, asked from the creator, from source, Har'eni na et kvodecha, right? Please, may I see your presence, right? But it's so much deeper than presence. I don't have the language kvodecha. We translate in English your glory, but it falls far short, right? Your any beautiful moment in your life, and then not infinitely. Heshivu HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and Hashem replied. In other words, Hashem's response to Moshe was, Ki lo yar'eni ha'adam v'chai. It's not possible for a human being to see me and continue living. Ve'ech zeh shekan higiu kol Yisrael lemadrigan. If that's the case, then how did this happen? That together on our entire level of collective consciousness and collected consciousness of the energy center called Yisrael, we reached this this incredible vibration, really, of collected will and collective desire, and it's really, you're going to hear it's for love and connection. And how did we word it? We said, Hal'enu Hashem Elokeinu et kvodo ve'et gadlo. Please, we really want to know you. We really want to see you. We really want to see you, Dafka, Hal'enu. There's something about seeing something, right? Seeing is believing. And yes, we're going to explore emunah and all of that, right? Because it's going to open before us, right? What is this? We're like a little child, right? Whose parents are playing peekaboo, and we're like, this game was really fun, but where's my mommy? Where's my daddy? Peekaboo, are you still there? Right? Hashem Elokeinu et kvodo ve'et gadlo. Please, right? Creator, source, right? Source of all life. Please may we see you. Please may we see your presence in all and everything and every part of the unfolding. And may we see your greatness. And this is the name, by the way. Gadlo is always the name for Gedulah, the name for Chesed. So what are we really saying? Please may we see that it's all only coming from you, and that you are the source of all loving kindness, and for all loving kindness and love and unity, right? Because that's not what I'm seeing in this reality. So what are we saying? So if there really is a higher state, a higher way to be, a higher reality where love is what is driving the story forward, and love is the destination and the point of the story, please, I really need to see that. I really need to hear that. Okay. And just always reminding everybody that if you have a question, feel free. Let me see if I can open the participants. Please feel free to ask for clarification or questions that are relevant to what we're learning. Things that are not relevant, please feel free to contact me, because these are very deep ideas. And also when we're encountering a lot of teachings about the light, it's very normal and natural that it may wake up very strong resistant parts in us, doubt and fear and rage even, and frustration and anger and coldness and iciness and numbness, disinterest, boredom, all good. If you need to go, come back. If you need to go, not come back. If you need to stretch, it's all good. Okay. Parshat Ki Tisa, and remember, right, that in Parshat Ki Tisa, that's the portion with the golden calf. Hatav Haor HaChaim HaKadosh. So the Or HaChaim, the holy Or HaChaim, that's the name of a commentator. Al HaPasuk Udvar V'diber Hashem El Moshe Panim El Panim. So we had a question, because it said back in Parshat Ki Tisa with the golden calf, it said in the pasuk, it said in the verse that the Creator spoke to Moses, to Moshe, face to face, right? And we're not sure, is that possible? Is it not possible, right? And so the Or HaChaim there gives us a glimpse into the inner teaching, and he says, "Dechavi shiur ha'hachana shehaya oseh Moshe lehakbalat pnei Shechina le'oto shiur tihiyeh hasaga mifnim ha'elyonim." Okay, really, 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 may our vessels be really open right now. So it goes like this. According to the preparation that we have done in preparing our vessels for face-to-face connection. And there are other words we could say: light, elevation, transformation, intimacy, rigorously honest and vulnerable connection. And by vulnerable, we mean to have worked on the victim consciousness of vulnerability and instead be vulnerably present and centered and truthful, right? All of this preparation for how to clear any energies that are getting in the way of our having a true and clear experience of our Creator. Some other things that, right, some other sort of stormy sounds that come in between the direct intimacy, fear and shame and blame and when we have a disconnect between our inside life and our outside life, that's not kedusha, which is privacy, but is busha, which is something different. It's that we're hiding parts of ourselves from others for fear that they're not lovable, they're too dark, they're whatever the judgment is. Judgment is very different from discernment. We can all feel that energetically. To discern is to dispassionately or even compassionately be aware of what you're seeing. This is an apple, this is an orange. There's no judgment. I'm not saying I don't like the apple or I do like the orange. I'm simply noticing what is. Judgment is already to reject, right? to shut off attention from or shame. Okay. So he says here like this: to the degree that Moshe Rabbeinu, which means all of us, okay, this is a Moshe center in our body, as well as Moshe Rabbeinu, of course. To the degree that we prepare the vessel, ready? We'll read that again. Kafi shi'u ha'hachana shehaya osa Moshe lehakbalat pnei Shechina, to receive the face of the Shechina, which another way we could say pnei is pnim, right? The inside light, the essence of myself, of other, and of all that is. By pnei, we're talking about the pnim. What is the essence of this being, right? And we may be so shocked if we're not used to practicing looking at essence, speaking in essence, thinking in essence, responding in essence, holding energy in essence. Right? These are things that take practice. Then we're able to see the inside light, the inside beauty, the inside truth, the inside connection. To that degree will we be able to receive the inside light, right? The inside connection, the vulnerable, the presence of ourself, allowing ourselves to be present, even receiving our own presence, and receiving the presence of the other, and receiving the presence of our Creator. It's all one thing. Ki kafi asher yachin adam atzmo lehashpa'at hakdusha yasig. He's saying there's a spiritual principle, and it's reflected also in the physical world. to the degree that there is a vessel, and the vessel is strong and clear and clean and beautiful and hardy and all these other wonderful things. To the degree that we want this intimacy, we want this life of wholeness and truthfulness and deep knowing and curiosity and playfulness and all the delicious levels of connection. So they're saying like this: to the degree that I want connection is the degree I will receive connection. And sometimes there's a disconnect. I may be asking for a connection on a very intimate level, but number one, that is going to require from me to do the hachana, the preparation for the juicy, sweet fruits of super intimate connection. It doesn't go one without the other, right? Really mostly for our sake, that it would actually damage our system. It would be like letting a child just like gorge all day on like junk food, right? Even though that's the child's desire, but the child's system couldn't handle it, even though it might taste yummy to the child. Ve'omro ka'asher yedaber ish el re'ehu yitba'er ledarkenu al davar omro kemayim hapanim lepanim ken lev ha'adam le'adam. So he continued and he said, when two human beings meet up on the inside of their souls, it's becoming clear to them. They're doing a birur. The inside souls are doing a calculation. They're sifting through, right? The true presence of self and the true presence of other and the true presence of the divine. And it's going to become clear to them the path forward of the level of connection that's going to be allowed, and the type of connection and the vibration and the energy of the connection that's going to be allowed to be experienced, right? The level of vulnerability, the level of truth, the level of kindness, the level of hiding, right? The level of intentionality, the level of lack of intentionality of what we're going to meet in Adar, called mikre, to like casually, accidentally, right, encounter and treat the presence of self and the presence of the other, which is the divine presence. So, but listen to this Torah. It's mamish. It's a Torah that could mamish change the whole world. He says, so when two human beings are meeting up, it's becoming clear to them on the inside, on the level of kemayim hapanim lepanim ken lev hadam ladam, that my inside heart and your inside heart are now contracting as we're drawing nearer. And this doesn't mean that we're even seeing each other yet in physical presence. I'm thinking about calling you. You're thinking about calling me. And our souls start to go into checking out, because remember, souls are infinite. They're never bound by time or space or physical form. And that level of energy, right, starts to contract with each other, saying, are you ready to elevate with me? Do you need more time away? Do you need more space between us? Where am I? Where are you? Am I an animal self? And am I in giving self? Right? All of these different levels is exactly, and he's quoting Shlomo Melech here from Mishlei or Proverbs, right? Where Shlomo Melech says, just as if I would go to a beautiful pond or a lake, and I would stand over it and I would gaze into the water, whatever face I come with, is the face that is going to be reflected back to me. So if I smile into the water, lo and behold, I will see somebody in the water smiling back at me, right? And he says, this is exactly the way that human hearts operate. Now, I want to be clear. It doesn't mean if I have a desire for someone, they have the desire for me. It could mean that, but it's something much, much, much deeper. It's saying that we're communicating on levels that are way higher, right? These are the levels that are called nistal. This is why Hashem says to Moshe, nobody could see my insides and be able to still live because there's such truth. Everything is seen, every passing thought, every passing intention, and because there's so much compassion, our souls wait for one another to be able to connect with such presence and intentionality and clarity of intention, and that could even be to show up and say to someone, listen, I'm really in my animal parts right now, like beware of me, right? That's such a Shammai level of relationshiping, right? Okay, so he continues and he says, Perush, let's go deeper. Ki halevavot yaskilu b'ne'elam im lehov im lisno. I'm getting a pen right now. I think this is the most important line of Torah I've ever seen, and it's so beautiful. This is a game changer. This is Geula Torah. This is Geula Torah, and in my opinion and felt sense, it feels like an activation, actually, even to read this line. Okay, ready? Here it is. Ki halevavot, because both of our hearts, yaskilu, are seeing, understanding, running the systems, contracting right now, because ein od milvado. There is only and always the presence of the highest, most loving and beautiful consciousness, and that is running the systems to see, right, how much light and connection we can handle right now, or how much we really want that light and connection or not, right? And it says, here we go, ki halevavot, because our hearts, yaskilu b'ne'elam, in secret, we don't see it happening, are connecting and are contracting how we're going to elevate together, if we're going to elevate together. Listen to this line. Im le'ehov, whether our work is through loving each other, im lisno, or whether for whatever reasons right now, there has to be a resistance and a push against between our fields, and that's what we call snow, to hate, to push away, right? To resist connection. I think we should just read that again. Okay. Ki halevavot yaskilu b'ne'elam im lehov im lisno. Our hearts in secret are contracting, and by heart, we don't just mean the emotional centers, right? Heart in Kabbalah means the heart, the mind, the soul, the higher consciousness, right? It's secretly reading everything in the space. Now, again, I don't even mean you have to be in physical space with the person. You could be 10,000 miles away from them, because we're talking about the divine soul, the Shekhinah, right? And it's checking, and it's deciding whether to contract, to love, or to hate. כי כפי אשר יכין האדם ליבו לאהוב חברו, כן יתבונן לב חברו לאהוב אותו. To the degree that you set your intention and you prepare your vessel to love the other, and we have to understand what love means. Don't confuse love with something else, right? So we're going to have to do a clarification of what love means. But for now, just take it in. To the degree that we prepare our heart, which is our vessel, to love the other, ken yitbonen lev chavero le'ehov oto. To that exact degree will the other be able to prepare their heart for connection and love with you. Wow. I think we can close shop with that line. Not really, but I'm just wow. Okay. Okay. We'll just let that land for a moment. Kmo shekatuv, diber Hashem panim el panim. He says, how do we know this? Because the way Hashem speaks, okay, we could say is face to face. He says, no, is insides to insides. That's where the divine presence rests. Insides to insides. By the way, this is where we're going as we're moving to Shammai, right? To connect Hillel and Shammai. Right? Hillel, we understand, we have the compassion that our insides and outsides may not yet be in alignment. So we may be showing one face, but really feeling something else. We may be saying something, but really mean something else. And that's because intimate, unmasked, truthful vulnerability and nakedness and connection is so vulnerable. It's so tender. So we can't do that until there's a system in place where we all agree to be gentle and kind with each other in our vulnerability, right? In letting our ugliness be seen and letting our needs be seen and heard, and right? So another way that we could say, when Am Yisrael is saying, Sheyu'u kvodo v'yishme'u kolo, he's really also, I'm hearing that he's also saying, this is mamish what we really are asking for from the divine presence in ourselves and each other too, right? May I really see you, may I really hear you. But that takes hachana, that takes preparation. Ve'od katav sham lahala, and he continued there, al ma'amah on what the Torah said, Har'ini na et kvodecha, when Moshe said, please, may I see your kavod, may I see your glory, may I see your divine presence. Delech ora, kvar ra'uhu Yisrael bekriyat Yam Suf. He says, isn't this redundant? Why now at Har Sinai? Sorry, it wasn't Moshe Rabbeinu. I'm sorry, that was incorrect. He's asking here, why are we as Yisrael at Har Sinai this week, right now, asking, please may we see your glory, when last week at the splitting of the sea, right, we did see Hashem's glory. Every part of us, even the maidservant parts of us, in other words, even the lower parts of us that were like enslaved, got a glimpse, right, of the beauty of the Creator. So he says, so why now at Har Sinai? What's the chidush? What are we asking for that we didn't receive last week in Bashalach? What is this level of intimacy, right? Har'inina, please show us, please may we see, right? Your kavod, your awesomeness, your beauty, your light. And by the way, it's not your light. It's so deep when we understand what kavod is. Kavod is your reflected light. Your reflected light. So we just said this. Didn't we just see Hashem's kavod last week at Kriyat Yamsuf? Ub'Moshe kativ v'diber Hashem el Moshe panim el panim. And with regard to Moshe, it says Hashem spoke to Moshe face to face, insides to insides. V'chen utmunat Hashem yabit. Right, and it also says that Hashem hid his face. V'chen utmunat Hashem yabit. And I will hide my face. If I'm mistaken, I'm sorry. I think that's what he's saying. Amnam ein ze ele reut esh ochelet utmunat or elyon. And he says, it's true. It's true that he showed Moshe something. But what did Moshe see? Moshe saw a consumptive fire and an image or a picture of supernal light. Moshe ratzah, but what was his real will? What did Moshe really want? Shetiyelo hakara v'yedi'ah pratit. Pratit is the key word here. I don't want a general experience of the divine. I don't even want a general experience of, I look at a sunset and it's so clear to me that there's a creator, and there's a creator who loves beauty, and there's a creator that cares and feeds the little birdies. That is gorgeous and beautiful. That's what I saw at Kriyat Yamsuf. But what Moshe is saying is, I want to see, hear, know my creator on a personal, intimate, one-to-one, every part of me, even the parts of me that are most in shtiyot, right? Most fallen or confused or immature or afraid or not elevated, or right? If I'm gonna go further with you, creator, that's the level of experience. I need to know that you care, that you're present, that you love me, that you're patient with me, that you're kind, right? That's what it says. So let's read that line again. Amnam, ein ze ele reut esh ochelet utmunat or elyon. He says, yes, it's true, said Moshe. I had an experience at the burning bush. Yes, it's true, said Am Yisrael. I had an experience at the crossing of the sea, that you are the one creator. But now I need to know that you're the one creator that dwells in me, that guides me, that cares about me, that is growing my consciousness, that has a plan for my messed up life, right? Not in a general sense. Okay. And of course, cares about the thousands and thousands of people who died this week in the earthquake in Turkey, right? That's the level of connection that Yisrael, anything holding the energy center of Yisrael, is saying, I can't survive with anything less than that. Achen, yes, it's true. Achiti kashe mima shekatuv kan b'kabalat Torah hen Hal'enu Hashem Elokeinu et kavodo ve'et gadlo shehu oto halashon b'diuk shebikesh Moshe hal'ini na et kvodecha madua lo chash ha'orech hayim klal lehakshot mikan. Right, and he says what Moshe Rabbeinu is asking for and what Am Yisrael are asking for here. The truth is, it's the same thing. And okay, it's a little pilpullish, so I'm not going to get into it. He's asking, so why is the Orach Chaim not troubled by that? I'm going to continue because I don't want to get involved in pilpul right now, like splitting hairs. Okay, I want to go forward. V'ha'in yad, and the matter is like this. It's like this. Behekdem bi'ur mashma'ut beit hadvarim shebikshu Yisrael milifnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He says, all right, before we explain what's the inside meaning, what are we really asking for when Yisrael is asking from before and from the insides, milifnei, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, right, the one, Sheyu'u et kvodo, that we want to see Hashem's kavod, we want to see the Creator's kavod, vayishme'u et kolo, and we want to hear Hashem's voice. Demashma mikach, what is meant by this? Shebakashatem nitmal'a she'ein ze bivchinat gdulot ata mevakesh. Okay, so he says like this. So demashma mikach, we understand from this that their bakasha, that our bakasha, our yearning, our longing, our request, nitmal'a, will be filled. She'ein zeh bivchinat gdulot atam mevakesh, that we're not asking for too much. And we want to know that if we have this burning and this hunger and this yearning and this longing, and we want to know that we were created like to want this level of intimacy with the Creator, right? And that we're not asking for too much. We're not asking for something impossible. Velama dafka otam bikshu, and if we're asking for to know God, right? Why specifically through these two lashonot, these two languages? And it reminds me of George Harrison, okay? And it's like one of my favorite songs. It's called I Really Want to Know You, right? No, it's called Yes, I Really Want to Know You, right? I really want to know you. I really want to know you, Lord. And it takes so long, I know. We're not going to sing the next words, just to be sensitive. Okay, so he says, and if we want this connection with the divine, why don't we say, please may I smell you, God. Please may I touch you, God. Please may I feel you hug me, God. Please, why specifically? I really need to see you and I really need to hear you. And why then, if we're relating to God in ourselves and in each other, that's also going to be the lashon, the language we're going to use when wanting deeper connection. I really want to see you. I really want to be seen by you. I really want to hear you. I really want to be heard by you. Okay, why is that the two almost signs that there's true connection and care and presence and intention happening? Okay, chew on that for a second while I take a sip of my ginger tea. Okay, any questions or comments directly linked to what we're learning so far? Right. I know I'm also kind of speechless. I really want to know you. Yeah.
Hi. Hello. I just wanted to say that when you were started talking about it, that song also came to mind. And it's funny. I mean, it's not funny. It means that this is really like humanity's yearning. Like it's just so deep.
That's right. And we want to also be invited in that the deeper you yearn for something, the more it's like pulling the arrow back, right? The deeper you yearn, the more you're creating the space to receive it. We'll just put that in the space. Hi, miss you. Okay. All right, good. Wow, this is gonna momish. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Okay. I also would like to put something in the space right now. I've been very privileged to be receiving some very special wisdom teachings from three very special sources of healing and wisdom in my life right now. And from one of them, who he does not wish to be named, and he's been sharing with me that when we generate this light together, this consciousness, that right now, hopefully we're opening up the yearning for the divine. When we finish this call, when we finish this class, you will have been activated with, really just think of it for simplicity's sake right now, golden energy, golden light, right? Light of touching the divine, or we call that oraita. Be very sensitive to how you spend this energy. The lower centers may want you to just spill it, like liquid gold, because this consciousness and energy it's very intentional, it's very special. We can feel that we're connecting on very deep levels. So I invite all of us that with this energy that we're generating together, Dafka, when you get off the class, be intentional with how you want to spend this this energy of consciousness, where you want to plant it, what you want to invest it into, because it's you're going to see his lashon. I didn't make this up. Listen to this. It's so beautiful. And it really is in line with what my teacher taught me this week. V'lama dafka otam bikshu. Mahu etzem ha'inyan ha'miyuchad. What is the inside teaching, right? What is so special about these two things? I really want to see you, and I really want to hear you. Ela shebet dvarim elu. It's like this. These two things, Hashuvim etzel Yehudi, yoter mikol hamadregot. Those two things are higher than any other spiritual level. To be at the place, I really want to see you. I really want to hear you. He says that is higher than any other spiritual level. Shazu tachlit she'ifat chayav. This is the point of all desires and all yearnings and all longings, right? And all loves and all journeys. This is the point, right? Lezakot, to be privileged, li'ot et kavodo, to see Hashem's kavod, velishmoa et kolo, and to hear Hashem's voice. Now, I want to just remind us, it doesn't only exist on the level of thunder and lightning. It could mean when you're holding a baby in your arms. Please, in this moment, may I look at this baby and see your kavod and hear your presence, your voice, right? It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be thunder and lightning, right? Like Har Sinai. It's the inside in any moment when I'm coming with true yearning presence and hachana, preparation. What my soul is saying is, I really want to see you. I really want to hear you. Zekol chiyuto. He says, this is the essence of what it is to be a Yehudi. And this is the totality of the purpose of our life and our life force. Yes, it's true. Now we also want to clarify, there are many madregot, gradations, levels of to the extent which we can perceive the divine presence, right? The presence of the Creator, of the beauty of the Creator. That's a beautiful way to say Kvod Hashem, by the way. The beauty of the Creator. It's not the Creator, it's Kvodo, right? That we can't see the Creator and live. We can see the beauty of the Creator. Bechinot umadrigot, right? He says, again, there's many levels to this. Just like there's many frequencies, there's many bandwidths. Look at me and my tech talk. Yesh re'iyah mamash kivyachol she'aliyah aleha bikesh Moshe Rabbeinu alav shalom hareini na et kvodecha. There's the highest, like super refined, super intentional, super prepared level that Moshe Rabbeinu asked for, right? Please, may I see your beauty, right? Which is in a way to say your essence, your essence. Ach yesh gam lemata miza, but there's infinite levels that are less than that. Al derech shekatav harabad beba'alei hanefesh sha'ar hakadusha. Like the Holy Master, the Ravad, brought down in a book called Sha'ar HaKadusha. Ve'zichrono livracha, may his memory be for a blessing. Ve'rishon l'chol harishim, but what's at the head of all of it? Kulam sheyada ha'adam et yotzaro v'yakir et boro, is our desire that a human being has to know the one who formed me, you, us, and to recognize. Let's listen to the lashon again. Sheyada, and remember, yada is not theoretical knowing or knowledge. I have an idea that yes, there's a creator, blah, blah, blah. No, I want to know you. I want to have the experience of you, that the same way you have a really good friend and you feel like you know them, or you know something to be true. That's what we're saying. I want to yada, I want to know you, right? So that it's not even arguable anymore. It's so barur, it's so clear to me. Et Yitro, right? Who formed me, who created me? The yakir, and recognize, another very, recognize means recognize, to see it again, to understand it again. That means my insides have a GPS, have a compass, have a right that knows you already, right? And I need to recognize that, right? Et bo'o, right? My creator. Ve'im hu ne'elam me'enai, and if my creator is hidden from my eyes, from my sight, kol chai, all of my life, achu nimtza belevavot v'nigle b'machshavot. But is the creator hidden? The creator is always present within the hearts and within the thoughts, with my in my intentions, in my emotions, in my thoughts. Peekaboo. There I am. And the creator is always present in every heart and between hearts, contracting, as we said before. Ve'ata ben adam, and you human being, be'oznecha shema ve'et einecha tipakeach. If you, if I, if me, if us, if you open your ears, your oznecha. By the way, we have 3 ears, just in case you don't know, right? We Kabbalists, we have 3 ears. Here's another ear. We have 3 eyes. In other words, we have a way of seeing things in oneness and wholeness with unified, elevated consciousness. Ve'ata ben adam be'oznecha shema ve'et einecha tipakeach. When I open my ears, when I open my eyes, v'tir'et munat yitzrecha, I will see the form of the one who formed me, ha'omed lefanecha negdecha, standing before me and in me. negdecha, opposite me. Ad kan. And he says, that's enough for now. Now we might continue, but I just want to give you his lashon. He says, ad kan, right? Like, take that in, digest that, receive, be with that.
Can you say the line one more time?
Didn't understand.
Can you say the line one more time, please? Thank you.
Ve'im hu ne'elam me'enai kol chai. And if it appears to me that my creator is hidden from sight all of my life, ach hu nimtza. No, he's present. No, he is such a, sorry, I don't have a language. The creator, presence, the one consciousness is present, belevavot, in the hearts, in our hearts, in every heart. Venigle b'machshavot, and is revealed in our thoughts. Ve'ata ben adam, and you, human being, be'oznecha shema, use your ears to listen. Ve'et einecha tipakeach, and open your eyes. Vatir'eh, and you will see. Tmunat yotzrecha, the form of the one who formed you, ha'omed lefanecha, that is now, right now, standing before you, opposite you, relationshiping with you. Okay, any questions or comments until now? I'd like to finish the paragraph that he didn't finish there. I mean, he said ad kan, but the paragraph is not finished.
I have a question. So in the beginning of your class, we spoke a lot in order to understand these concepts about relationships from one to the other, from one human to another. What's coming up for me and what I feel like I'm asking for clarity on is like, when we are in relationship with friend, with partner, are we also calling in to see and hear God within the person, or should we understand this lesson as me and God, and then also it could be applied to me and other?
That's a beautiful question. May I be privileged to answer it correctly? I don't know. I can sense into what I feel, because this is also coming down for me. I believe that what he is saying is so mind-blowingly beautiful that, first of all, I believe he's giving us a Purim Torah, which any time we're in relationship, we're only ever in relationship with God.
Mm-hmm.
We're only ever in relationship with God. That's part, I believe, of the chidush of drinking until we're no longer in the polarity that there's a good guy and a bad guy. There's Haman and there's Mordechai, right? We're only ever relationshiping with the highest, most unified one consciousness. I believe that's what he's saying. And he's also saying this appears on a whole spectrum of madrigot, of levels, right? From the highest vision of Moshe Rabbeinu holding that consistently all the time, to us dipping out and in and out of that awareness. But, okay. V'hainu, and that is to say, shebemet, in truth, Hashem Yitbarach shochen belev Yehudi shehu chelek Elokai mima'al. This is an answer to your question, Ilana. The Sloanamer says, the truth is that the Creator dwells in the heart of every being, right? Particularly beings that have the energy center called Yisrael. Shehu chelek Elokai mima'al, right? There is no difference between the Or Ein Sof, the infinite light, and the infinite light dwelling in the human being that is me, that is I, or that is standing or sitting across from me right now. Do you understand what a new path he's asking us to walk into? This is mamish new Torah. It's the new old Torah, right? והוא יתברך נמצא בלבבות ונגלה במחשבות. And it's only God's will. It's only God that is in every heart and is being revealed in our thoughts. That's a very tricky statement. And I want to say, just for clarity's sake, even our negative thoughts, even our thoughts where we beat ourselves up or we're judging the other person and all of that, we have to be skillful in working with that light. But that's, again, it's so confusing for me too. This is also very new for me, but it's the ein od milvado. That's all we could say. Okay. V'rak kesher tipakeach et einei hasachel, and only when our true eyes are opened, az tir'eh et haboreh yitbarach hanimtza imcha, then you will see, I will see, it has been nothing but the Creator who dwells with you and in you. I mean, I've been hearing these Torot, so to speak, my whole life because I was exposed to a Sikh mystical path from a very young age, and the Hindu mystical path from a very young age. And later in my life, I went on to study to whatever degree that the Buddhist mystical path. And I've never seen it written so clearly in a Torah source. This teaching that it's only God, that it's all one, that God dwells within you as you, that it's only God when you're speaking to another, when you're relationshiping with another. Okay. HaKadosh Baruch Hu רוצה לתת תמיד ליהודי מדרגה זו של הראינו השם את כבודו. The Creator is always wanting to fulfill our deepest yearning and desire, which is to see the presence of the Creator, the beauty, the reflection of the Creator. Ve'et gadlo, and Hashem's greatness, which we said is code for Hashem's chesed, love, 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 flow of love, chesed, loving kindness, love. Shehi tachlit hakol, it's the point of everything. It's the point. Love is the point. And since we already quoted George Harrison, now we get to go and, right? All you need is love. Wah, 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 wah. All you need is love. Wow, the Beatles are getting a real call out today that the Sloanamer Rebbe just said it, right? He tachlit hakol. It's the point of everything, is to see the beauty, the intimacy, the goodness, the kindness, the grace, the love of the Creator in everyone. That includes you, me, all of us. Ella. He says, so if we're saying we want it and God's saying, I want to give it to you, where is it? Right? He says, good. I'm glad you asked. So here it's like this. Your inside wants that level of intimacy and wholeness and to be seen and to be known. But surrounding that, we have other energies, other parts of self, other anis, right? That's an anochi. Anochi Hashem Elokecha. It's only me. It's only me. Anochi knows that. All the anis right, are like, I'm bad, I'm not worthy, it's too much, it's gonna make me change too much, it's too much responsibility, I'm gonna fail again, I'm gonna let you down, I'm gonna let myself down, that's aiming too high, it's too intense, blah blah, right? We can hear those for the defenses that we are when we say them out loud. But we still want to have enormous patience and compassion with all of those anis, right? The anis that the anochi is like, I'm ready for full, intentional, truthful, honest, present connection. That's anochi. That's when we get to anochi. Sometimes we have a lot of ani clearing to do first, right? The anis, they like a lot of comfort. They like to hide. They don't want to be confronted. They don't want to be reflected in truth in certain ways. There's a lot of fear around the ego crumbling, around, right, seeing true self. Okay, so we want to give those parts a lot of compassion. So he says, Hachisaron hu, the lack is coming from us. Just know that, not in a blaming way, not in a shaming way, not at all. It's as if Hashem trusts us so much that Hashem says, listen, I really want the deepest intimacy with you, right? So imagine, like, because this has never happened for me. Imagine if, you really love somebody, you really love, someone who could be your soulmate, and you come and you say, I'm ready for you. I'm ready for this, right? And the other person's like, wow, this is too much love, too much truth, too much change, too much intensity, too much for my vessel, right? So the most loving thing you could do at that point is to step away, is to step back and say, okay, hineni, right? This is what Hashem does. Hashem gives the milk, just like a mommy. We used this mashal a couple of months ago. The mommy doesn't force milk down the baby's throat, chas v'shalom. The baby sucks, and the mommy's body responds by filling the baby with just as much force as the baby sucks with, right? The baby creates a desire, I want that, and the mommy's body flows in, not flooding with milk, right? That's why the baby has to suck in order to get milk. That's why Hashem gives us Torah and mitzvot, because Hashem says, you show me that you want connection, because I don't want to flood you. I don't want to overwhelm you, right? I want the connection to feel yummy, to feel nurturing, to feel nourishing. He says, but then why is it that instead of feeling that, sometimes we feel abandoned? We don't feel nurtured and fed. We feel alone and rejected and abandoned. He says, because maybe we didn't know that the presence comes to the degree that we prepare to want and open to and receive the presence. Okay? Just like a baby nursing. And he continues, שכל זמן שיש לאדם איזהו שייכות לחומר ונמצא בו עוד חלק חומרי, אינו יכול לראות פני השכינה. Okay, so he's saying something here on a surface level, but mamish, it's such a gorgeous Torah. I think we need to go deeper. So on a surface level, he's saying, when our animal nature rises up, it can block, right, our true desire, which is, connection with our Creator, and it can, okay. Well, first of all, we love the animal nature, right? Our tafkid, our mission is not to cut off the animal nature, but to love and integrate and elevate the animal nature, because the animal nature has wonderful strength and passion and creativity and playfulness and resilience and strength, and right, those are all beautiful energies. So we don't want to cut off those energies. We want to become skillful at at dancing in those energies. Okay, so let's go a little deeper there though, because let's take it down into us and human relationships, right? She says, as long as my desire to receive for myself alone is driving the car, it becomes really difficult for me to see the divine presence, right? For me to really see the other, even my own true nature and the other for sure, and to really hear and to really be present, right? He's saying that ironically, presence requires some preparation. It requires us learning. It should be the simplest thing in the world to come and be present, right? And he's saying maybe, but that's not really true for us. It requires preparation, hachana, for us to learn how to be, how to bring ourselves in presence, right? And how to be present to the other and present to the now. Because usually we're in so many stories about what happened before in our relationship, and I can't open to you because then maybe you'll hurt me again. And last time you did this and I did that. And oh no, but what about tomorrow? Maybe you're going to leave me. So why should I open now? Right? We're in so much of those type of energies. He's saying that it's hard for us to see the miracle of what's happening right here, right now, in me and you and in the space between us. He says, if you want to see the presence of God, it's happening in the now. And he's sharing with us that takes preparation and hachana, because we're very used to looking in the future for the presence and looking in the past for the presence, right? And having all the midot, even if I glance it or I taste it for a second right now, sometimes my midot, my emotional impulsive nature, immediately jumps into the space with fears about losing it, and I'm not going to get enough of it, and it's not going to be there tomorrow, and I'm going to be left, and all of that. So he says again, that requires hachana, preparing to be in presence and preparing to see and experience that the light that you're so desperate for to see and to hear is right here, right now. It's right here, right now. This is a new tool for us. And to live on that level requires hachana, preparation, preparing that if I'm saying I'm yearning for connection, Hashem's like, okay, here it is, right here, right now. But if I can't see it or hear it because I'm yearning for the connection of 3 years ago, or I'm yearning the connection of 3 years from now, then I don't have the vessel, right, the transmitter, to be able to see what's being offered, the light, the presence, the voice right here, right now. Ach gam az nimtzahu belevavot ובנגלה במחשבות שיהודי מסוגל להרגיש את השם יתברך בכל מהותו וכבהירות כל כך כאילו ראוהו בעיניו. He says he wants us to know, like, I'm almost going to say it like, right, like sweet kinderlach, right? He wants us to know that our very essence is to be Yehudi, to be Israel, right? This is an energy center, meaning, right, what drives our will? and our pleasure, right? Our ratzon, our oneg, and our emunah is this desire to see the divine presence and to hear the divine voice, right? He says, because that's the essence of who and what we are, we need to know then that it is available to us at all times, at any moment. We'll read that line again. Ach gam az nimtza hu bilvavot ubenigle b'machshavot sheyehudi mesugal lehaugish. It's possible for us lehaugish, to feel et Hashem yitbarach, the one name, right? The one name, the one, bechol mehuto, with all of our being, with all of our might, with all of our essence, with all of our presence. Ubebehirut, kol kach, and so clearly, ke'ilu ra'ohu, it's as if we're seeing the divine presence with our eyes. Wow. That is so beautiful. Okay. Questions or answers until that point. Questions or answers, I said. That's so funny. Questions or clarity, I meant to say. It's so much I'm feeling to not continue because these words are so precious. And yet, because it's Thursday, I'm going to continue. And if anybody is feeling flooded and it's too much, you can get off and you can listen to the recording when it feels that you can receive more. If you would like to do that. Amnan b'Kabbalat Torah. So at the time when we received the Torah, Zu ha'pa'am yechida shekatuv b'Torah lashon zeh shel har'enu Hashem Elokeinu et kvodo. It says it was the one singular one and only time where the language of Torah is that we collectively said, reveal to us, show us, Hashem Elokeinu, Yud Kei Vav Kei Elokeinu, please show us, may we see your kavod, right? Your beauty, your essence, your she'az bikshu madregot niskavot elu, that we asked for this high spiritual level. Shezeh ka'amur tachlit ha'she'ifa shel Yehudi. He says, just know that's the apex, the peak of any yearning and desire that you have, even if you think it's a yearning for chocolate cake, it is. But the inside of what we're really hungry for is, show me the divine presence and let me hear it. Because when we're, and right, this week and mamish this Shabbos, right, we have the ability to hold in more continuously and in a more conscious, as opposed to subconscious, in a more consciously choosing place, but not fully choosing, that's Purim, right? But more choosing. We want to see your presence and to hear you. Shehayu b'fchinat malachim, right? We were holding on a level that's mamish to be called the level of angels, that have not splits, not part of me wants this and part of me. You see, angels have one foot, so to speak. Remember, this is anthropomorphic. Angels don't have any feet. We're talking about an energy when it's undivided against itself. The will is so unified and so pure that the energy doesn't have to fight against its own parts and against any resistance. It's allowed to just move forward and carry out that desire and will. That's called malachim, angels, right? It's the energy to unobstructively carry out a vision or a mission, a will, a desire. Kedichtiv, as is written, Ani amarti Elokim atem uvnei elyon kulachem. I, Hashem, have said, right? I have borne witness, right? That you, when you're in that state, you are energetically as angels, right? In other words, your whole will is to be aligned with the Creator's will. So there, it's such a powerful, unified force. Ubnei Elyon kulchem, and you are the children of the supernal, right? All of you, all of us. Shelo haya lahem az shum shayachut lechomer. We weren't weighed down and bogged down at all, right? With any conflicting wills in that moment, right? I really want to know you, God, but I also am worried about my parnasa. But what about this shidduch? But what, right? And it's not to say that any of that is, God forbid, bad. It's to say, imagine how powerful it is when you have a desire and a will to spend time with someone, to see them and hear them, and they have the same revealed, acknowledged desire to see you and to hear you. Imagine, like, right, the amount of light that can come in for both, and what can be created and revealed from there. So he's saying that's where we were with Hashem, that's where we are, and we're going to be on Har Sinai. And as is written, I will place you upon the wings of eagles, and I will bring you a lie to me, says the Creator. Shenit'alu ledalgat malachim uvnei elyon, that you will be elevated to the level of angels, right? And again, by angels, we mean concentrated inner will, right? That what we want is really what we want, not we sort of want it, we sort of don't, we sort of want to grow, we sort of want intimacy, we sort of want connection, we sort of want our soulmate, we sort of, right? But the concentrated will, right? That is in alignment with the Creator. And therefore, we were privileged, right, to see Yud Ke Vav Ke and Elokeinu, right? That the compassionate one hidden amongst the darkness and the suffering and the separation, that it's one, that it's Ein Od Milvado, Et Kavodo ve'et Gadlo. We're able to see it as one thing, right? Hashem's awe and awesomeness and beauty and essence, and Hashem's chesed and loving kindness and sweetness at the same time. That's what we're crying for. There's an earthquake, thousands of people are dead, right? I want to see you. I want to hear you. I want to see that pain and suffering and lack and hatred and abuse and goodness and kindness and gentleness and fun and play, it's all only one. They're intertwined. They're one will. There's not bad forces and good forces, and a God who loves me and a God who rejects me and punishes me. There's one unified will. Yes, it's true that if you're holding on the level of Adam, right, of a blood being, it's true you can't see me and live. If you're looking for what can I get out of this moment and how can I manipulate the situation to have this person feed me and give me what I want and force my will on them, it's true. Then we're going to miss the divine in the moment. If all of our fear parts are hijacking, maybe they love me today, but they won't love me tomorrow. And what about what they did to me yesterday? And right, he says, yeah, if we're stuck in the dam, if we're stuck in the blood parts of ourselves, that's true. The light is going to be obscured. Hainu, that is to say, mishahu basar vadam, right? If I'm stuck, right, in my concern in every moment, how may I use this person to get what I need and want? Yeah, it's gonna, that can definitely block me from seeing the beauty, the awesomeness, the love, the compassion, the goodness that's present in myself and them and between us right now. Aval, but bizman matan Torah, at the time that we're receiving and Hashem is giving, right, this light called Torah, Hora'ah, lo haya lahem shayachut l'chomer. That's not where we're holding, right? What we're holding is to our inside will, for love, for compassion, right? For collaboration, for revealed goodness, for everyone and everything. Shepalcha nishmatan, our soul, listen to his lashon. The time when our true neshama blossoms, palcha nishmatan, flowers, right? Our true inner will flowers. V'lo nish'ar bahem shum chelek shel chomer v'yeshut, and we're not holding on to what you did to me, what you might do to me, what I wanted you to do to me and you didn't do, right? And we're just energetically brought into this, the one sound, the one light, the one will. Al ken zachu lirot et kvodo. That's what brings us into the place where we're privileged to see Hashem's kavod, to see the beauty, to see the unity, to see the goodness. V'zu hayta madrega meyuchedet b'kabbalat Torah. This is where we're holding this week and this Shabbos, this unified will. Ve'achar kach, and afterwards, kvar lo hayta lahem madrega zu. And it's true we weren't able to sustain it afterwards. It's true we go up and down and in and out, but we get the taste and the download of the essence of all of it. Questions, comments? Okay. Anybody want to?
I want to add one more song. Yeah. Rafi, one light, one heart. Remember that one?
Oh, Rafi. Yes. Wait, could you sing it with me? I forgot the words.
I don't remember it exactly, but it's like one light, one heart, one sun, like something like that. We're all, everything, Eino et Milvajo, we're all one.
Rafi's one of my Rebbes for sure. He's like mamash one of my Rebbes for real. I'm not even saying it like tongue in cheek. Like his energy is so healing. Okay, does anybody want to take anything and turn it into a prayer, a tefillah, a bracha, a blessing, right? Rabbi Nachman says when we receive the light of instruction together, what the most important part is at the end of the teaching to tie it in, to integrate it, to pull it in either through speech, through a vision, through a blessing, or through taking upon oneself an action in response, right, to this inspiration, to this light. Does anyone want to give a bracha, a tefillah?
I wanted to bless us all. I think that that these Torahs, this love, this like pure light should seep into our hearts in an easy way, in a growing, expansive way. We should mamash be able to take these learnings and live them and be them and feel what it is love and be able to give it back.
Amen. Amen. Thank you. Kenny, Ratzon. Thank you, everybody. All right. Everyone have a beautiful day. Good Shabbos, an amazing revelation, an amazing ability to see and to hear Hashem's love for you in everything and everyone inside yourself, in every story, in every moment. And remember, he said we go in and out of these states, right? We're not saying we're able to reach Moshe Rabbeinu's level or even sustain it, but even to set that intention and have moments right, of those places, of those ways of seeing ourselves and each other and God is moving mountains, pun intended. Okay.
Shabbat shalom to everybody. Thank you, Eva Muna.